So I am bulk recording. I apologise if my voice gets a little bit croaky throughout the next few videos, but I'm recording a lot of videos in a row because I have spare time now. I can do that. Isn't that fun? Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about Progress Wrestling Chapter 160, 160, someone might say Vendetta, the big super show that Progress Wrestling put on last week, featuring some huge matches like Spike Trivet versus Kid Lykos, which we'll get to at the end of this video. But before we dive into that, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts on the show down below if you were there, because I want to know everything about this show. Awesome show. It was an awesome show. I like to keep that little bit of suspense going for you. It was a really sick show, really great. The only issue, I have some issues with some of the stories being told in progress at the moment, but this was a very, very satisfying show that I enjoyed thoroughly. I thought it was awesome. Now, the one issue, I haven't spoken about this yet, the issue with Vendetta is that it was following up Wonder Brawl. Wonder Brawl might be my show of the year. I was there in Manchester and it had some of the best live wrestling that I have ever seen. Charles Crowley versus Matthew Raywalt. Awesome. Awesome. So, you have to check out Wonder Brawl. I haven't done a full review for Wonder Brawl. I will bring it up at my end of year list. But my God, that show was fantastic and I didn't know how they could top it. Vendetta did not top Wonder Brawl, but it was an awesome show throughout. So we're going to go through, talk about the matches, talk about everything that happened at Vendetta, matches, angles, everything. Let's talk about it. Starting with Simon Miller, who opens the show, and they have a really touching tribute to a sound production guy who worked at the Electric Ballroom. His name was Steve Waterhouse, technical manager. He'd been there for like 40 years. Really touching tribute. And then we got the opening match, which was for the Atlas Championship, as Luke Jacobs took on the champion Ricky Knight Jr. in what was an incredible match. This was incredible. Luke Jacobs and Ricky Knight Jr., of course it was going to be awesome. And it was. It was hard-hitting, insane, strong style, which I love. So of course I loved it. They started off really fast-paced, no-selling suplexes, which was just sick. Ricky Knight Jr. slapping the piss out of Luke Jacobs again and again and again and again. A huge dive from Ricky Knight Jr. in like the first 5 minutes. Can't complain about that. And just everything. Suplex battle. A delayed suplex from Ricky Knight Jr., which was like 40 seconds. It was mental. Utterly mental. And there were a few errors, a few missed spots that didn't quite look as clean as they did, but when it got into the last 5 minutes of this match, it just got ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. Luke Jacobs no-selling a Canadian destroyer from the second rope was fantastic, hitting a huge clothesline, which Ricky Knight Jr. not reversed, he no-sold, and then Ricky Knight Jr. managed to get Luke into the corner, and hit a huge muscle buster for the win. This was fantastic. This was absolutely fantastic. It solidifies Ricky Knight Jr. as being the longest reigning Atlas champion. He's defeated Volta/Gunther to become the longest reigning Atlas champion. I can't wait to see what he does next. I will probably do a video about what's next for Spike Trivet, but I think Ricky Knight Jr. should be in the mix for the World Championship soon. I'd love to see him vie for that title. He's just so cool. His presence is awesome. And Luke Jacobs is just fantastic. There's an announcement about Luke Jacobs, which you can probably see above my face. And if you don't want to see that, then are you even a wrestling fan? But this was a fantastic, fantastic match. And yeah, really hot way to open the show. Next up, we got Connor Mills versus Leon Slater. It was really, really good, really brutal in some spots. Connor Mills legit looked like he kicked Leon Slater's face off. This was not necessarily like, it was very mix of styles. You had the high flying of Leon Slater versus sort of more technical, almost Kyle O'Reilly-esque Connor Mills. It wasn't necessarily like Jack Bandicoot or Robbie X from Wonderbrawl or anything like that. But this was really fun. I really love just Leon Slater moving. He just moves like it's nothing. Just the way he moves, the way he dives over the turnbuckle, the way he goes for the Swanton 450 is awesome. This wasn't necessarily the smoothest match either, like the first one, but a lot of it looked really good. It looked really good. It was really fast-paced, really enjoyable, and it came to a bit of a stunning finish as Leon Slater rolled up Connor Mills for the win. Cool. I really like that. I like that they're also putting over Leon Slater is now Impact bound. That makes him look awesome and really highlights his abilities in that. And yeah, this was a really fun match. I don't think it was as good as his match versus Francesco Akira at Wonderbrawl, which you might hear me say a lot, but Wonderbrawl was so fucking fantastic that it's just very difficult to live up to that. But it was really good. A really good second match on the show. I want to see more of Mills. He looks like they're going to be slowly building Connor Mills up, which is cool. And yeah, Leon Slater's awesome. Leon Slater picked up the win. Connor Mills looked pissed. We'll see where they go from here. Then we've got Simon Miller announcing as Tate Mayfairs interrupts him, cuts him off, and makes his way to the ring for his match against Paul Robinson. This match for me, this is the one sort of outstanding thing in Progress that just is not clicking for me, and it's the Proteus Championship stuff with Malik and Paul Robinson. I don't get Paul Robinson. Like, I see he's awesome, Swords of Essex and everything, but for me and my tastes, it just doesn't fit like my tastes, okay? You're allowed to do that. So, and I don't know, it's just not gelling for me. I think this is the search for the Proteus Championship. I would have just liked it to be a tournament that Robbo was a part of. I think we'd be more invested in him in sort of being this underdog, this fighting underdog, trying to get his belt back. But the match with Tate was fun. Like, it was nothing blow away or anything like that. But Tate Mayfairs picked up the win, which is, standard. I expected Tate Mayfairs to pick up the win because Tate is, awesome. He's cool. I like Tate Mayfairs. But then Robbo low blows him after the match with the brass knucks. Looks like he's going to clock him again with the brass knucks, but Simon Miller makes his way to the ring and he clocks Tate Mayfairs with the brass knucks. Cuts a really awesome promo, great promo from Simon Miller on Tate Mayfairs, setting up their match for Unboxing, which will be a street fight, a Camden street fight. I cannot wait for this. I love Simon. He's so good. He's so wholesome. And I love Tate Mayfairs. I think Tate Mayfairs has a lot of potential. So I can't wait to see this match. And I'm very, very excited that this feud is going to get a big blow off at the end of the year. Super excited about that. Next up, we got a mixed tag team match as Lana Austin and Rob Drake took on the team of the Cheeky Little Buggers, Alexis Falcon and Charles Crowley. I thought this match was great. This was exactly what it needed to be. I like this feud. I like the feud. They've managed to keep some momentum from Lana Austin losing the championship and going into this feud with Alexis Falcon and with Crowley. I think it was really good. There was just a lot of really cool moments where they look to change up the game in terms of intergender wrestling, because you don't see that much in like major promotions. You don't see, Rhea getting involved in the Judgment Days matches and squaring up to like, Randy Orton, for instance. You don't see that much. But seeing Alexis Falcon square up with Rob Drake and then proceed to clock the piss out of each other was class. Seeing Charles Crowley give a low blow to Lana Austin was awesome. And I really like that they booked the trend. I think Charles Crowley and Falcon are really good at doing that and sort of giving you what you're not expecting. They're great baby faces, and they picked up the win with a, what did they call it? Off with her head from Alexis Falcon for the win. Really cool. I hope we see more of them in a Progress ring together. I think there's a lot of highlights from both Rob Drake and Lana Austin and Crowley and Alexis Falcon. Then we got probably my favourite match of the night, and that was Gene Money taking on Warren Banks in Warren Banks' last match. I not love, because obviously they're very sad, but I love the way retirement matches can be laid out, and I loved how this was I loved how this was laid out. I think the way Gene Money and Warren Banks crafted this story was absolutely sensational. Having Money have to dig down deep, not be the comedy character, not be the goofball, but be the serious wrestler and give Warren Banks his final match, the match that Warren Banks wants, I thought was beautiful. Beautiful, poetic, showed a lot of different sides to Gene Money, and it was a really sad farewell for Warren Banks, because Warren Banks is an incredible, incredible wrestler, and I'm just gutted that this is his last match. I think there's so much, like, you can look back on Warren Banks' run and see how great he was, especially when they brought up in the video package about the tryout with WWE and what they missed out on, because Warren Banks has the look, he has the abilities, he has everything you need to be a great professional wrestler, because he is a great professional wrestler. There were some awesome spots in this match. The hug spot in particular, you got a lot of meter burn knees, you got a lot of Ainsley lariats in this match. Gene Money constantly going to shake the hand, but the final stretch where both men were just knackered, they were distraught, and I think Money had hit about 3 Ainsley lariats and couldn't keep Warren Banks down. He runs the ropes multiple times for an Ainsley lariat, hugs Warren Banks instead. That got me right in the feels, and Gene Money picked up the win with an Ainsley lariat. It was just, really, really sad. Warren Banks cuts a little bit of a promo, leaves his boots in the rings, and that's it. This was a match that I would go out of my way to watch. This was a really sad, really well put together retirement match, and props to everyone who was involved in it, because it was a really touching farewell to someone who's been a staple of Progress Wrestling for the longest time. I was very, very impressed with this match. Next up, we got the big spectacle match. We got Dominatus Regnum taking on Sanity. This was everything you expected it to be. Huge brawls in the crowd, brawling everywhere. Then you got in the ring, everyone got their moment to shine. Big Damon got worked over by Dominatus Regnum. You got Eric Young making a hot tag, Axel Tischer making a hot tag, and everyone just hitting everyone. It was fun. It was very, very fun. Nothing, blow away, nothing fantastic, but it was exactly what it needed to be to introduce Sanity to the Progress audience, or reintroduce, because probably a lot of people know Sanity from WWE. Reintroduce them to that crowd. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was a really fun match. Not going to be match of the year or anything like that, but seeing Eric Young, seeing Tischer, seeing Damo together was stuff of legend. Really happy, because they were in my NXT. They were my version of NXT, like when I started watching. And to see them all back together, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Sanity picked up the win and then cut a promo after saying that they were eyeing the Progress Tag Team titles. I think that's a great feud. Maybe we'll get Eric Young versus Spike and sort of get Damo and Tischer vying for the tag titles. Maybe that's the direction they go after Vendetta. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. And yeah, this was a really fun 6-man tag. Really fun. Next up, we got the triple threat for the Progress Women's Championship, as Lizzie Evo took on Kanji, who took on the champion Riho. I love this. I thought this was really good. I think the Progress Women's division is genuinely one of the best in the world, and I think the British wrestling scene has some of the best talent working today. And Lizzie Evo and Kanji, their blood feud that they have now built from Wonder Brawl is goddamn fantastic. They hit each other so hard. They really take strong style into account. I loved the opening of this when Kanji just clocks Lizzie Evo and Riho spends about 3 minutes just sort of chilling while Kanji batters Lizzie Evo, and that's when you really get into the stuff, get into the triple threat mechanics of the match. Lizzie Evo being a great heel, great foil, Kanji again just hitting people really, really hard and developing that strong style. I loved it. Loved this triple threat. I thought it was so good. And I really love the women's division as a whole. Riho picked up the win in a really cool finish that I really, really loved. Kanji had, I think it was it was like a choke. It was a choke locked in on Lizzie Evo. The ref dropped the hand once, dropped the hand twice, and as she was going to go, for the final drop of the hand, Riho gets in, hits a package pile driver on Kanji, and picks up the win, retaining the title. Cool. Really cool. Kanji got pinned. I think we're probably building to Lizzie Evo versus Riho after this, because I think Lizzie Evo didn't get pinned. Kanji was the one who got pinned, even though it looked like Evo was going to lose the match. I think that's a perfect match to have at unboxing. And yeah, I'm very excited for the women's division. I love everyone involved in the Progress women's division. It's such a well-rounded division. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I really enjoyed this triple threat. Then we got Eddie Dennis coming out. Eddie Dennis came out and announced that he left WWE, and he is now entering Super Strong Style 16. Awesome. I think that's going to be sick. I can't wait. Maybe Eddie Dennis will win, face Spike again. We'll see about that. Could be interesting. I think it's awesome. Awesome that Eddie Dennis is back on the British wrestling scene. Cannot wait to see what he does. The penultimate match was Yoichi, I hope I pronounced that right, versus Shigehiro Irie in what was a hard-hitting match with two hard Japanese men. My God, they hit each other very hard. This was fun. I don't necessarily think this needed to be on the show. I think this was great to get people out there and get the new character over of Yoichi, but it didn't add anything necessarily for me. It wasn't a blow-away match. It wasn't the match that they had at Wonder Brawl, Luke Jacobs and Yoichi, but my God, there's some really hard-hitting spots in here. Irie is awesome, and yeah, this was a fun match. Yoichi picked up the win. Cool. Probably building to another Atlas thing with Yoichi, but yeah, it didn't necessarily need to be on the show. And then we got the main event. We had Spike Trivet defending the Progress World Championship against Kid Lykos in Lucha de Apuestas. No disqualification, title versus mask. I think this was absolutely everything that it needed to be. It was a bloody, hardcore, grueling death match. It's the best I can say. It was fantastic. I really, really, really loved this match. I think it was hard hitting and just brutal. Everything you've come to expect from these blow-off matches from Spike, like the I Quit match that he had with Cara Noir, like the cage match, like this, was just gut-wrenching. You know, he battered Lykos for a lot of this match. A lot of this match was Lykos getting grueling punishment from everywhere. You had thumbtacks, you had sheets of glass, you had tables. The only thing not in this match was barbed wire, but this was a grueling death match. Lykos got some hope spots in there that really made you believe he was going to pick up the title. Some really cool near falls, a lot of knees as well, a lot of flying knees from Lykos. But ultimately, and this is where my issue with the match comes in, I don't think the interference was needed. I don't think, in the same way the Will Ospreay Kenny Omega match from Forbidden Door didn't need Don Callis, I don't think this match needed Bullet and Dominatus Reynham coming down and choke slamming Kid Lykos through a table. I don't think that added much to the story. I would have liked this to just be a one-on-one grueling death match between Spike and Lykos. And that's what it was for the majority of it. It was just that one snippet at the end. And then, yeah, I really like the homages to Cara Noir. I really like the throwback to the Luke Jacobs match where Spike, I believe, first introduced the lemon juice and the thumbtacks. There was a lot of stuff in here that really called back and really capped off this feud as Spike Trivet picked up the win after 3 devastating underhook neck breakers. And yeah, Lykos loses the match, loses the mask. I think this is an interesting one. I'll probably do a video on it, on Spike's reign and what it means going forward. But it's interesting. Post-match, Lykos unmasks Ethan Beach. States everything. States his, how long he's been wrestling for. Traditionally, in Mexico, that's how it's done. He says that. He gives the mask to Spike, tells him not to fuck it up. They shake hands, And then he cuts a really heartfelt promo about how he's still Kid Lykos, he still keeps the name, he'll just not have the mask. I think that is an incredibly interesting story hook going forward. What is next for Lykos? What is next with no mask? It's really interesting. What's next for Dominatus Regnum and what is next for Kid Lykos? Caps off one of the most captivating stories of the year in a really, really good way. I really like this match. And it capped off a really brilliant show. I have a few issues with this, whether it be the Proteus Championship stuff or whether it be the filler match in between the main event and the Women's Championship match. But overall, I think Vendetta was a really good success, a really fantastic success. Spike Trivet has shown that he is brilliant at these matches that pay off on big angles. And yeah, I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5 for me. Not the best Progress show of the year, but really solid way leading into their final show, Unboxing, which end of December, I think, is when we get that. And that's my review. That is my review. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you watch Vendetta? Did you not? Will you check out, let me pronounce it again, Lucha de Apuestas? I hope that's right. Will you check it out? Let me know everything you want down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of you. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.